This is William K. Murtaugh, Witness 1, and this is a Friday mobile thought. And I'm going to start off discussing, of all things, the assassination of the President of the United States. Sort of. Now, somebody got on Twitter today, and they posted that Donald J. Trump may be assassinated. Now, the way they said it is, if word comes out that the President of the United States has been assassinated, it's fake. There is a clone of the President that will be assassinated, and the real President is going to be okay. Now, the problem with this is the Secret Service monitors the internet, and they don't have a very good sense of humor. And so when the Secret Service gets wind of this Twitter, the guy behind it, plus the people that are spreading this thing around, may have a few questions to answer. Now, the real police chief, who is the person who's apparently started this rumor, may be able to wiggle out of it, saying, well, this is entertainment and this is kidding. But I don't think the Secret Service is going to be laughing too much. And I also think that it is likely that the Secret Service is going to start keeping a close eye on this guy, plus anyone else that spreads this rumor around. You know, that's the one thing I've noticed is these Q-tips aren't too bright. You know, they don't understand how things work, and they don't understand that if they start spreading rumors where there's a hint that the President of the United States might be assassinated, that they're going to get looked at a little closely. But there is another side to this. Now, this might be a weird attempt to throw the Secret Service off balance, because the Secret Service is going to say, oh, this is just a bunch of conspiracy nuts. They're not serious. And they will, we'll just ignore this. And then all of a sudden, a week or two from now, or 3, when all the conventions start up, somebody takes a pot shot at the president or does some other weird thing in an attempted assassination plot. And they did so thinking that perhaps this little hoax that they started about the clone would have thrown the FBI off track to where they're not keeping an eye on a special or a specific group, and thus they're able to carry out the nefarious plan. The only problem is the Secret Service is going to think that. They're going to say, hey, these people might think that by spreading this rumor around, we're going to think that they're a bunch of idiots spreading a rumor around, and we'll ignore them, and then all of a sudden they are going to assassinate the president. That's the way the Secret Service thinks. Secret Service is very paranoid. They are not going to outright dismiss some rumor on the internet where somebody is saying that the President of the United States might be assassinated, but we have a clone in the wings to take the hit for the president, and the president's going to be perfectly fine. That is not a wise course of action any way you look at it. Now, the thing I find interesting about these Q-tips is there's about 29,000 people, give or take, following this police chief. His Twitter heading says that he's a retired police chief. He's either retired, fired, or not a police chief at all. This is just another idiot pretending to be something he's not. This is another one of these idiots that says that he has special, secret, confidential information from confidential sources to share, and puts this stuff out on Twitter. Now, we've been down this road before with these people that say that they are with the United States government, or they're postmasters of the world and all this other idiocy. So there seems to be a springboard for these people on social media, and it seems to be that we're centered on both Facebook and Twitter. So we look forward to the day when the Secret Service makes an announcement that the real police chief has been arrested, or that he has at least been questioned, and all of a sudden the real police chief disappears from Twitter and social media in general. But there'll always be someone that takes his place, because there are too many Q-tips around here that believe the sheer nonsense that is coming out from Q, or whoever he, she, it may be. People don't believe in science, they don't believe in common sense, and thus this crap keeps exploding. And another example of these moronic individuals comes out of all places, Elk River, Minnesota. Or actually, it's a nearby town. It seems one of these Q-tips decided to go into Walmart and play lawyer and confront Walmart about their pending mandatory mask order. Now, I am from Orange County, Florida, and Orange County, Florida has in place a mandatory mask order. If you go into anywhere, you have to wear a mask, period. It's a county ordinance. Now, whether or not they're going to enforce it if you get steadfastly refused is another thing altogether, but it is enforceable. Now, this wingnut walked into Walmart, started a big ruckus, even though the requirement is not in place yet. I mean, everybody around was wearing masks, and this guy with his 9-foot-long beard is walking around making all kinds of claims and everything about OSHA, declaring, oh, this is not being recorded, and yet it shows up on Facebook. So that was a lie. It was actually being live streamed, and either this guy didn't know or he was flat out lying, is the fact that Facebook records whatever you're doing. You know, if you're doing a Facebook Live, it gets recorded. And so it got recorded at least once, if not twice. This guy says he's going to file a big thing with OSHA against Walmart. He's going to start a federal lawsuit. He wanted to talk to the law firm that is the legal counsel for Walmart, which is easy enough to find out. I already know that. And all that. And he wanted to speak to him right now on the phone. And that ain't going to happen. So everybody makes a big deal about this idiot going on, saying that, you know, the Goliath got kicked in the nuts by this little Samson character and the beard and the weird little hat. Actually, I like the hat. It's kind of a nice hat. But, you know, and then, you know, and everybody with any common sense knows that ain't going to happen. Walmart's going to go, yeah, go and knock yourself out, guy. I hope you got about $1 million in the bank, because we'll wear you down. Walmart gets these kind of lawsuits about every, you know, on an hourly basis, and they get thrown out before they even, and the ink dries on the complaint. And the same thing is going to happen here. You know, this guy quotes that OSHA says this and OSHA says that. Well, the guy needs to read the OSHA regulations, because it's OSHA put in there that it's a damn good idea that you wear the mask, that it prevents COVID. It helps prevent it. It's not a cure. You know, you can still get COVID even though you wear the mask, because you got to wash your hands. There's a combination of things you got to do to keep from getting this stupid virus, or any virus for that matter. You know, it's nice if you would wash your hands and so on and so forth, but these people, the hygiene of some of these people is a bit wanting. But at any rate, you know, you've got to use common sense when you go about this sort of thing. Now, I will be doing a murder-thon probably tonight, starting at either 9 or 10 o'clock. And it's an open discussion, and we might discuss the real police chief and this assassination business, and maybe about this Q-tip from Elk River, Minnesota, who decided to make such an ass of himself in the store. I don't know. But there's one person we're not going to talk about, and I'm not going to mention him by name, but everybody knows who he is. This particular individual is off limits, and his girlfriend is off limits. I'm not going to talk about these two idiots anymore. It's a waste of my time. We've been over the subject long enough. And I'm going to have a no tolerance policy. If anybody comes into my chat and starts defaming people and accusing people of things and so on and so forth, they are going to be summarily banned. I'm going to wipe their comments off the chat. I'm going to wipe them out of the room. Because, they're scaring people off. And the one thing I have found, I've been getting messages from people saying they would stay on my channel if it weren't for all these trolls. So this is the reason the trolls have been showing up. They're trying to get me shut down. Why? I don't know. Because, they were getting attention, they were getting things that they could whine about, yet they're trying to shut me down. Well, fine. Then I will just ignore these people. They could sit there and they can tell all their little fish tales and pretend that they're government agencies, tied in with government agencies and blah, 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 but they're going to have to do it without me. So be forewarned, all those supporters and trolls out there. You will be dealt with. I will not tolerate it anymore. If I have to sit there and just babble away with nobody on the live stream, then that's what I'm going to do. I only get 10 to 20 people on the thing anyway, which is why I cut back to one time a week. I'm not going to sit there and do these things, 2-3 hours at a time for 10 people. But I will do them as a monologue to record what I am interested in at that time. And that's what's going to continue. And, if there's nobody chatting, I'm not going to look at the chat. So we'll see how it goes. Now, one thing I may bring up tonight, I'm not decided yet, is the Mesa project. Now, I've discussed this in the past that, it's coming. So I may get into a little bit more detail about the Mesa project. It's a little bit behind schedule, and I'm going to explain why tonight. Another subject I may get into is the fact that I'm going to be doing a live stream starting on the 29th of July. I'm going to be going over to the Kennedy Space Center once again and try to live stream the launch from there. Now, this is a mission to Mars launch. This is the Perseverance mission. It's rather unique. I'm going to go into some detail, maybe tonight or in the coming weeks, exactly what this mission is about. Now, it is true, there's probably going to be 100,000 media sources covering this. NASA's going to be live streaming it. Everybody's going to be live streaming it, and they're probably going to do a better job than I do. But I'm going to get my 2 cents in there, and I'm either going to be on Twitter or Facebook at the same time, like I tried to do the last time. And while I'm in the hotel, I will be broadcasting live over YouTube, at least for a little bit. I may try once again to put content up on the internet of me going to the Kennedy Space Center, or at least to the hotel. I'm going to go to the hotel, I'm going to stay overnight, and then in the morning, I'm going to set up my cameras and everything outside. This is an early morning launch. So, when I get to Kennedy Space Center, I am going to stream a marathon on the 29th. Then on the 30th, I'm going to do the stream of the launch somehow. And then the 30th, I'll finish up Not quite sure when I'm going to do on the 30th yet. I may do a little bit of sightseeing again like I did before. But it'll be fluid. For some reason, the cell phone capacity in that area is somewhat wanting. And it was an unmitigated disaster on the last launch. I did take pictures and stuff, and I do have them. I never did put them up. I'm still going to put them up. It'll be one of these better late than ever things. I'll put the footage up probably in the next few days, so that there'll at least be some pictures of what's been happening. And I'm also going to start producing the Mesa project. I've got a lot of content done on this particular project. I just got to do post-production on it, narrate it, get some stuff up. And this is the Mesa project is going to be a little bit of a departure from what I normally do on this channel, but it is also going to be more or less along the lines of what I originally had planned for the channel. So you may like it, you may not like it. You know, time will tell. But I'm hoping to draw a more coherent audience of people that I know that are interested in what I'm doing with the Mesa projects and some of the other projects that I have lined up. This way the Q-tips can relax and enjoy their conspiracy theories because they won't have me around to bother them anymore. And so tonight, at around 9 o'clock Eastern Time, this is William K. Murtaugh, Mert Witness 1. Have a good one.